What's going on, moviegoers? If you're new to the channel, my name is Christian and welcome to Serial Productions. You guys, I just got home from watching Thor, Love and Thunder. I did a quick little out of the theater reaction, giving my brief thoughts, very short. But I wanted to get home to really discuss what I experienced. Now, you guys, I was very excited for Thor. Very excited. You know, I love what Taika did with Ragnarok. I thought the rebirth of the character was excellent. So heading into Thor, Love and Thunder, you guys, I had very high expectations. Very high expectations. We're going to be talking some spoilers. So if you guys haven't seen it, go watch it to come back to my video and let's talk and discuss what we all experienced for the fourth Thor movie in the MCU. Now, let's start off with what I liked. I liked the action. The action was phenomenal. I thought the action was dope. They really upped the ante of what Thor can do. I loved Gorr. Christian Bale was so damn good as Gorr the Godbutcher. Whenever he was on screen, he just demanded your attention in every single way. And I gave it. I was so invested into the character, so invested into his performance. I love the look. I love, the necro sword. It was dope. And the whole little shadow demons he was summoning, dope as hell. He was phenomenal. Probably, if I'm being honest with you, my favorite thing about the movie was Gorr the Godbutcher. Jane Foster, the mighty Thor, that whole storyline. I'll be honest with you guys. I'm not attached to Jane. And I'm not mad at that. The MCU never really gave us a reason to be attached to this character. She was the boring love interest in Thor 1 and 2. And that was all. So when she had her moments of triumph, her moments of sadness, I felt like I didn't necessarily feel impacted. I was like, oh, okay, cool. So like when she first got, becomes the mighty Thor, I was like, okay, cool. Nice. Saw that in the trailer. It wasn't like a, moment. It just wasn't. It didn't hit for me. So I feel like that's where they kind of fell off with that character a little bit. Side characters, Valkyrie was cool. Korg was a little bit over the top at times. What's his name? Russell Crowe as Zeus. Didn't really like it. I didn't. Didn't like his accent. He was silly, he was goofy, talking about having orgasms and shit like that. I was like, what the fuck? Is this the boys? Is this the hero-gasms? I really didn't like Zeus. I was very disappointed with his depiction of Zeus. All right, you guys, I'm going to be honest. And, I hope you guys are here because you're here for my honest opinions. You're here for, me keeping it real. Me not, pettifogging anything. I don't want to lie to you guys and be like, yo, I really didn't like Thor, but, I liked it. This was great. I'm doing this for clout. Come to my channel. No. Taika is an extremely talented director, and his style is all over this movie. A little bit too much of Taika, I never thought could have been a problem. And I definitely felt like it was essentially one of the main issues I had with the movie. It was too much Taika into this movie. The comedy was, like some of my subscribers said, Ragnarok on steroids. And it was. Majority of the comedy, you guys, 90% for me, didn't land. I can't tell you a single moment where I laughed. I can't. It just didn't land with me. And I'm going to be honest, this whole film felt like a parody of this character and the side characters. And tonally, it was just all over the place. Like, am I supposed to feel sad? Am I supposed to feel happy? Like, I hated the fact that, the tone was so silly and goofy. It took away from what Gorr was able to accomplish in the film. It really did. I felt like if it was more of a serious tone, which still it could have had some comedic moments, whatever, but not overbearing, this film could have thrived so much better. And the pacing of the movie, it was just go, 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 and it never really stopped. I was like, damn, It's fast paced, and a lot of people were complaining about the whole runtime. It's just ultimately, you guys, I really felt disappointed in this film. Certain things I didn't like, and it just didn't make sense to me. I was like, what? Thor and, Thor, Valkyrie, Korg, and the Mighty Thor going to, Olympus and shit like that. That whole scene felt underutilized. I was just like, oh shit, Thor killed Zeus. Damn. Well, it's kind of predictable of what's going to happen next into the post-credit scene. Not Zeus, Hercules. Very predictable. Very, very predictable. I thought they could have utilized that whole scene of Gorr killing everybody and really emphasizing this is how dangerous and powerful Gorr is. Really missed opportunity. We didn't really get to see Gorr kill anybody. Think about it. Other than that first beginning scene of him and his daughter passing away, and then him getting the powers of the Necro Sword and all that stuff, and then him killing that first god, I was like, okay, cool, so dope. But other than that, he stabbed Valkyrie, and that was it. We didn't get the full potential of what Gorr could have really had in this film, you guys. Really, really frustrating to me because it's a missed opportunity. Moving on. I actually really liked that they included Heimdall's son. I thought that was dope. I had no idea Heimdall was getting down like that. I had no idea he had a son. So I love that whole little dynamic relationship between Thor and Heimdall. Axel is what he wants to be called. I loved it. I wanted kind of more of that. But when it got to the third act, it got real silly. Like the kids, having the power of Thor and fighting the shadow demons. That was just like, I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I was like, damn, this is really taken away from the battle that we could have had from both Thors and Gorr. It really did for me. I didn't necessarily, like the whole kid ordeal and, Gorr taking the kids. When Gorr's with the kids and he was, honestly scaring the shit out of them, I felt like that was good. I was like, man, this is peak Gorr right here. I really, really enjoyed it. But like the whole kid storyline, I didn't necessarily, feel attached to. I was like, okay, I could have definitely done without that. I really like the fact that we got to see Eternity, and Gorr's main purpose was to get Stormbreaker because that was the key to Eternity, so he can wish whatever wish he wanted from Eternity. That was dope. I was like, oh man, I love that. We finally got to see Eternity in the MCU, and it leaves the door open to so much more broader things to happen, in the MCU. But I liked how they depicted it. I thought that was dope. But ultimately, you guys, honestly, like, I just felt really flat with this movie, and it's just like, it hurts that I really didn't love this movie like some people do. And some people love it. Some people really enjoy it. That's great for you. I'm happy that you enjoy it. But, I feel like, this film struggled so much trying to identify what it is. It felt, like I said, it felt like a whole ass parody of this universe. I love Chris Hemsworth as Thor, obviously, but, I could have done a little less of the comedy aspect of it. A little less of it, because it was very overbearing at times, where serious moments I thought that were really going to thrive and be serious ended with like a comedic note. And I was like, oh, okay, so it's not that serious. Oh, Korg is dead. Oh, kind of hurt, but oh, hey, I'm still alive. I'm on my face, but oh, yeah, I'm alive. Took away from that. I was like, if you're going to kill Korg, kill his ass. So I could have some kind of feeling, but they didn't. He ended up surviving or whatever, and he was a face, and he grew back at the end of this movie. Guardians of the Galaxy. Useless, pointless. Don't know why they were in this film. Cool seeing the Guardians again. Can't wait for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Gonna be really pumped. I'm excited for that. But I feel like they were just kind of useless. They're in the beginning of the film because Thor left with them at the end of Avengers Endgame. I was like, okay, whatever. You want to tell this story and flush it out. Okay, cool. But I felt like ultimately they were pointless in the plot and story. They definitely could have done without that entire beginning of, the Guardians of the Galaxy and focused more so on more of Natalie Portman's Jane Foster's cancer storyline, which I felt like was very effective. It worked, But like I said, it comes to the problems of like, why do I care about Jane when I didn't care about Jane before, you know? And if I'm being completely honest with you, I would have liked a little bit more backstory on Gorr. More Gorr and more Jane, I felt like definitely would have helped a lot of this film's problems, especially Gorr. Like I wanted to see his people, you know, like his wife, and you know what really happened to his planet, you know, stuff like that. You know, that would have been really interesting to me. But you know, the pacing issues and the runtime definitely, you know, felt, you know, it's the pain of the film. It really did. The ending of the movie of Gorr making his wish to bring his daughter back, and then, you know, Natalie Portman's Jane Foster dying. She's in Valhalla. She died. I did not expect that because I thought, you know, Jane Foster was going to be a big pivotal character moving on into the MCU with, you know, the mighty Thor. Definitely did not expect her to die. I was like, oh shit, okay, well that's the end of that. Kind of a waste, but okay, cool, whatever. But Thor taking Gorr's daughter, what was that? She will be loved. What? I didn't like it at all. Like Thor adopted this you know, this young daughter of Gorr after, you know, I was just like, what's going on here? A lot of decisions were made that I just don't agree with for the character. I just don't. Post-credit scenes, let's talk. Holy shit, that was the worst Hercules I've ever seen in my life. My God, terrible. I don't know who they got to play the dude. I was expecting a big, massive person to play Hercules. No. You want to be able to rival Chris Hemsworth's Thor. This Hercules is like tiny. I was like, no, I'm not feeling it at all. You know, honestly, I would have had The Rock come back as Hercules. Because could you imagine if that was The Rock at the end with the long hair and he's massive, he's big? That would have been dope. A Thor versus Hercules in Thor 5? Chris Hemsworth versus The Rock? Are you kidding me? Cash cow. That could have worked. But ultimately, you know, we'll see Hercules versus Thor and whatever storyline they decide to come up with for, you know, the next Thor movie or a Hercules project. Who knows what's going to happen with that. And of course, the second post-credit scene of Jane Foster going to Valhalla and seeing Heimdall. I really love seeing Heimdall. Seeing Idris Elba, I loved it. I was like, oh, that's so good. So good. I was like, I need more Idris Elba in the MCU. I love Heimdall's character. Really, really like that scene between those two. But like I said, that's it. That's it for the mighty Thor. You know, I thought there was going to be more. And notice at the end of the movie, it said Thor will return. It didn't say the mighty Thor will return. It just said Thor. So I'm taking that. Natalie Portman's like, look, I'll bulk up. I'll do this one time. But I'm at the age where I don't want to continuously do this. You know, this is exhausting at this age to work out, you know, 4 hours out of the day, 9 months a year. It's just, I don't want to do it. Let's figure out a storyline where I can do this. I'll be the mighty Thor, and that's a wrap. I thought the mighty Thor was going to be in the MCU for some time to come, but apparently not. It's not happening. Damn, you guys, I really wanted to like this movie. I really did, but, you know, ultimately it just fell flat for me. You know, I think that the script definitely suffered. You know, like I said, the performances were cool, you know. I expected so much more from this movie. So much more. But ultimately, I was very let down. I was disappointed. Where do I rank this in the Thor franchise? I go Thor Ragnarok, Thor Love and Thunder, Thor the Dark World. And like I said in my out of the theater reaction, as far as phase 4 goes, I definitely think that, you know, this is bottom tier phase 4 for me. Bottom tier. Phase 4 hasn't been the greatest, you guys. I don't know what's really happening in the MCU, but it's kind of concerning and alarming. Let's see how She-Hulk does. Let's see how, you know, Black Panther Wakanda Forever does. You know, it's just, phase 4 hasn't been hitting for me like, you know, phase 1, 2, 3. You know, is this the cause of post-Endgame not having Cap and Iron Man? Is this, you know, it's the rebuilding phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And, you know, it's all about getting these characters to be beloved like our original heroes that we had, you know, during the first 3 phases. So, yeah. Soundtrack was cool. You know, that was dope. Soundtrack was dope, you know, whenever, you know, the big fights were happening. You know, they played some kind of Metallica or AC/DC or whatever, you know. I was like, okay, the rock and roll. I love that aspect of it. But, damn, disappointing. Post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys thought about Thor, Love, and Thunder. Honest thoughts, you guys. Post them down below. Where do you rank it in the Thor franchise? Where do you rank it in Phase 4? Be honest, you guys. If you didn't like it, you know what I'm saying, I respect your opinion. If you loved it, I respect your opinion, because we're here as a community to talk to each other and understand each other's community, you know, our thoughts, our opinions. It's fine. You don't have to get upset with me and unsubscribe because I didn't like a movie you didn't like. That's just not, you know, not it. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.